Hey guys, what's up? It's Jim Dude here from Jim Dude's Guitars. I'm gonna do a cool video today. It's gonna be 3 different guitar players. I'm gonna look up their amps on Rig Manager for my Kemper and try to sound as close as possible to them, play a few licks from their albums, and see how it goes. So I am gonna show you. There's the Kemper. There's my Rig Manager on my laptop. I got it connected via USB port. So I'm going to put my camera down and go ahead and show you how I use the Kemper anyway. Hopefully my phone doesn't fall this time due to the vibrations here, because I'm kind of don't have a stand for my phone yet. So anyway, the 3 guitar players I'm going to be doing today is Angus Young, Slash, and David Gilmour. These are 3 guitar players that I haven't already tried to do on my Kemper already, so this is going to be just starting fresh. So the first one, I looked up all their amps online earlier that they would something that would be similar that they would use, and hopefully I can find something similar on Rig Manager. Obviously, I could buy a rig pack that would have the actual profiles of the real amps, and I could make it sound even closer, but this is just to show people on YouTube that if you want to use the free rigs from Rig Manager on your Kemper to sound like some of your favorite guitar players, that it's really easy to do, and that you don't have to buy the packs if you necessarily don't have the money to. At least I found. So anyway, the first one we'll start with is Angus Young. It was kind of hard to find out what amps he uses because he's switched from a lot of different Marshalls, but the ones I'm going to go with today is a Marshall Super Lead, and I pulled it up on Rig Manager, and there's at least 10 different ones that have been profiled by previous people. The number of times downloaded is usually what I go by, because more people that downloaded the rig is more likely that it'll be better sounding. So the top one's usually what I go with. This says triple super lead. This is what it sounds like, EQ flat, no stomp effects or anything like that. No reverb, no nothing. So this is just the sound of the amp from this profile. Marshall Super Lead. That was the bridge pickup, neck pickup. Okay, now that doesn't sound much like Angus Young yet. So what you want to do, come over here to your Kemper, and you want to mess with the EQ a little bit. So as you kind of fill the bass, I know I like to have it somewhere around 3 or 4. Then middle, I like to have it about 2. Don't want to go too much because Angus kind of has a darker sound, so we don't want to have too much trouble. I'll keep the presence alone. And just noticing that messing with the EQ can make the tone of the amp sound a lot better. The gain is about halfway. So we're going to turn the gain up just a little bit. Start to hearing it hum a little bit, so I'm going to turn the volume down just a little bit. Okay, sounding better. Now I'm going to add a compression stomp, a boost stomp, and an EQ stomp to really make it sound like something Angus would play. And honestly, I should add a noise gate, but we're not going to worry about that right now. So here, I'm going to play a few licks that I know of AC/DC, and you can see it. It's not going to sound perfect, but it was something close for you to play in your room, or if you had to gig with it, it would do just fine. So anyway, here's some AC/DC sound like Angus Young. So. So there you have it. I mean, pretty close, not right on the money, but I mean, for most people's ears that aren't musicians that would be listening to you playing, they would say it would sound spot on. To a trained professional musician's ears, yeah, they're gonna notice that it's might not be exactly spot on. They might be missing some different stomps that he uses. Although when I looked online, I didn't see that he uses many stomps. So that's that one. Like I said, it's an awesome piece of technology. Moving on for slashes, I have to get on here and type in the next amp, which is a Marshall JCM, and what pops up? Here we go. So now it's gonna start us all back over with just the EQ at 0 for Marshall JCM 800. Clean. That's a good start for a slash tone, so we'll mess with the EQ now. Get some bass. I like a lot of bass for slash and mids. Not so much treble, but a little bit of presence. More gain. Then we're going to go over here. We're going to turn the compressor on. We're going to add a tube screamer. Of course, we're going to add an EQ and reverb. We want to cut the mix. Slash will cut the mix. And then I am going to add a noise gate this time because, as you could tell, it was getting quite noisy. So, there we go. Threshold. Reverb, we want spring. Always want spring. Reverb. Don't want that echoey hall reverb that drowns your tone out, in my opinion. Some people like it. So now with all the stomps added and the EQ fiddled with, let's see what kind of slash tone we got. A little more bass. That sounded alright. Here we go with another one. Not too bad. So, as you can tell, it does the job. Last one's going to be tricky because this one is not a person that uses gain at all. And that is Mr. David Gilmour. This man is very elusive when it comes to rigs. There was no rig rundown online for him, but I did find out that he has used at one point or at a time or another a Fender Twin Reverb. So that's the one I'm going to look up because I know that more than likely it will be on here. Boom. Right there. Alright. This one's going to have a lot of different effects. Chorus, definitely. Delay, definitely. Reverb, definitely. So, back to square one again. Fender Twin Reverb. 0 effects, 0 stomps. Which is a great starting clean point, so Okay, we're going to add a compression. Compression to get a little fatter note. Okay, and then we're going to definitely add a chorus. Definitely not that one. We're going to change from a vintage chorus to something a little more subtle. Sorry about that. Okay, maybe something like this. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Okay. Must find flange. Okay, definitely good. We'll take that off, but we will add reverb and a little bit of delay. Okay, here we go. Let's see what we got. So there you have it. Not exactly like the artist, but without going out and finding the vintage amp and the vintage Les Paul or the vintage Fender and all this vintage gear that makes them artists sound the way they do, because believe it or not, the old vintage gear does have a different sound, despite what many people think. You know, oh, it's old, it's not that good. If the pros use it, it's good. But That's just my opinion, but I think it sounds pretty darn good. Highly recommend anyone getting a Kemper. I mean, a lot of people don't like the digital, but when it comes to digital sound, this is the realest it gets. I mean, a lot of people like to talk about the X-Effects, but the X-Effects doesn't make profiles of the amp's tone. They just imitate it. So this thing here actually does the real thing. These are all from people that have these amps that have put them on here. Just as when I profile this amp, I will put it on the rig manager for other people to have, even though this thing already came with it. So, like I said, it's just an amazing thing to have if you want to sound like your favorite guitar player. And if not, it's just fun to mess with. I mean, it's literally has endless possibilities for anything you want to do with a guitar. I mean, it's that simple. You think it can do it. So, anyway, I hope you like the video, and there will be plenty more to come. So stay tuned, leave a like and subscribe, and I appreciate it, and keep rocking.